as our sponsors. Thank you for your patience. And of course, Groundwater Solutions. So when we started, I was talking about the homeless situation, and it was so great when I interviewed you all before. I'm talking to Adrian and Emmanuel Threek. We talked about some of the goals that you guys had and how good it felt, things that we take for granted as far as taking a shower and a clean bath. And it was so heartwarming to hear the stories that you were sharing. Of course, what I just shared was about the new report, 3,137 people actively experiencing homelessness as of June of 2021. And 77% of them look like you and me. I just want to know from you all, when you first talked about the show and everything that you were doing, did these stats about COVID related homelessness match up with what you were seeing in the community? I'd love to hear your feedback, and how big now is the need for the people that you're serving?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw the impact that the pandemic was having in the community that we were serving. It's interesting to see how it's all evolved over the course of the past year. Just a year ago, we were dealing with Tent City, and
Yeah.
at the beginning of it. And now when you drive there, it's not there anymore. And so it gives people the illusion that the problems have been solved. But there's still people who are living in tent camp communities, living in the streets, living in their cars, and many are living in shelters. But a lot of people are in hiding for fear of the same things that they experienced previously, where they were forced to move from a location that they had made home, and then having to kind of redirect and find other places that would be a safe space for them.
Interesting you mentioned Tent City. It doesn't even seem like it's been a year. It's really odd, though, to even see that in the city of Charlotte. And I've always been told that it didn't, you just shifted the problem somewhere else. It didn't get rid of it. So, when you're dealing with the people that you're serving, what type of feedback are you getting from them besides living in fear and having to make the adjustment to move somewhere else?
Yeah, they have the same kind of issues and problems that we have. They're going through the very similar situations as far as thinking about how to protect themselves from COVID, how to keep themselves healthy, their loved ones healthy, and figuring out ways to just deal with that alongside the issues that they're going with. Having to find ways to get income, finding ways to where to sleep, where to get food for that day, and so it's compounded problems for them in a lot of cases because of their just houseless status.
Well, you guys are certainly angels on earth and the service that you're providing, and we're so grateful for that. But kind of talk about how the Hope Tank works.
Yeah, so the Hope Tank is a 24-foot box truck, and inside of this box truck is two full restrooms with shower, sink, toilet, and in the rear of this box truck is three sets of washers and dryers. And so in the middle, kind of in the middle behind the washers and dryers, is kind of like the brains of everything, which is the pumps and water heaters and two 400-gallon tanks, 200 400 two 400-gallon water tanks, one freshwater, one is wastewater. And it works pretty much, we pull up and turn on generators. And once that's going, propane is turned on, and the water's hot. The laundry is ready to rock. And it's just like a regular bathroom at that point, bathroom and laundry center.
Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about how far you've come,
Yeah.
where you started, your heart to do this, and from there to where you are now.
Well, we got started back in 2017, really just from a video that we came across of a young homeless woman that was sharing about dealing with her menstrual cycle while living on the streets.
Mm,
And she was sharing about just how she would have to really get creative during that time of the month to
wow.
determine how she would utilize her limited resources financially during that week, whether she would use the money for food or for feminine hygiene products. And
Which should be free, by the way.
Yes.
exactly. And so she ended up having to use her money for food, and making her own kind of innovative solutions for feminine hygiene. She was making her own pads and tampons out of things like toilet paper, socks, tank tops, things of that nature.
Mm,
And just seeing that, I had never thought about that aspect or reality of people dealing with homelessness.
mm,
And as a woman myself, it's like I've never had to deal with, okay, what am I going to do if I don't have money to buy feminine hygiene products? And so I kind of went on a little rant on Facebook when I saw the video, and
mhm.
it really spurred the people around me on social media to want to do something about it. And they kind of volunteered us that, hey, you guys are going to do something, and we're going to support you. And they've been pretty true to their word
Yes.
to actually, when we look back, like a lot of the people who were really eager to be about seeing change in our community, they've followed along with us through the journey. Many people have been volunteers with us.
Mhm.
Many support financially. Many help us get the word out about our mission and the needs that we're seeing on the streets. And so it's been quite the interesting journey to see it start from a Facebook rant to now seeing the Hope Tank realize solar powered hair washing stations.
Oh,
Our first building that we just moved into in September, and now even having conversations and exploring expanding outside of Charlotte city limits, thinking about housing. So much has happened in just a short amount of time.
so talk about the innovation center. You kind of talked, just mentioned, I guess, the building. So talk about your expansion, the new innovation center, and what you have we're seeing now, and what you would like to see in addition to expanding outside the city. I see those little smiles on your face. You guys are grinning. I love that look. Look at God, right?
So the innovation hub is really right now it is our kind of headquarters where we have all of the supplies that we have. So before the hub, we were had supplies in two storage units. We had supplies at our house, at a friend's house, and we still have supplies at a friend's business. And so we were kind of, it was making it hard to be as effective as possible, because things were all over the place. And so it's really, really amazing that we were able to get this through a couple really cool grants from Starbucks and Lending Tree, to help us get this space and make our just the effectiveness of what we do even more solid and streamlined. And so we're excited about just being able to, people can now drop off the items directly there. Things go out quickly. It's more efficient. It's beautiful. But in the future, that location is the place where we'll continue to build out the next Hope Tank for other areas, build out even, potentially thinking through housing solutions, and just coming up with other creative ideas and solutions for these problems that we're seeing in our society. And so that place is the starting point of something really major.
So you guys, you actually, people can drop their laundry. The homeless can drop off their laundry, and you return it, like take care of it and get it back to them. Did I understand you to say that?
So no, so we can. That place is a person can drop off like donations, and then
Okay.
it goes from there. The next version of the Hope Tank will probably though be a for the city will be a mobile laundry center. So that's something we've been in discussions with. So being mobile is our vein. That's where we believe that we can have the most impact. Is that actually being out in the community with these kind of resources that you would typically see kind of stationary. We want to bring them out so that there's no hindrance, no barrier. If you need your clothes washed right now, you can get your clothes right now. We can have a conversation. You can plug up to Wi-Fi and get things done if you need to. But it's us being out in the streets in the community is what's
It's
important.
simply called meeting people where they are.
That's it. That's it.
And if we would just practice that, so they wouldn't have to deal with deciding, do I put food on the table or gas in the tank? All of those things, as long as I've been in the community, it's about removing those barriers. And you guys are so spot on. I can see the joy and just the sun, the light in the two of you all for all that you're doing, because it's a terrible thing when people lose hope. And so
Yeah.
I always enjoy talking with you all. But in addition to what we can see, kind of tell us, how are you feeling? How does it make you feel when you're helping others?
Um, some days it's hard.
Yeah.
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 Trying to balance um, the desire to want to do a lot for people and
Yeah.
not always having the means or the availability to do the full extent of what is in our hearts to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You talk about the numbers of how many people are currently experiencing homelessness just in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, over
Right.
3,000 people. Like, we would love to just be like, okay, we'll just put all of those people in permanent housing. And that's just not the current reality that we are in, but we want to work towards that. And so sometimes having to be right there in the trenches with people as they're on their journey to relaunch their lives it can be taxing.
Yeah.
It can be hard. It can be very sad,
Yeah.
because as you develop relationships with people, if you have a close friend, if your close friend is living out on the streets, what do? You
Right.
say, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing on the streets?" And you bring them home. Well, we can't bring 3,000 people home.
No.
He would try to.
I would. I would.
I would be like, "Wait a minute,
I
sir.
can't.
This isn't going to work."
Right.
And so I think just having to find the balance of um, the care and the concern and compassion that we have for people, with the logistical side of making it all work and coming up with those solutions and testing them out and implementing them. Sometimes it can be a lot, but we're thankful that we have the opportunity to be able to be in this position where we can work through those things and find solutions, so that hopefully there will come a day where that number that you quote will be significantly lower.
Yeah.
And we will have played a part in working with other organizations, other people, other citizens, to see that a reality in our city.
And fearfully, I'm afraid that number is probably not really on point. There's some that are not included in that number, and we see it, and it just seems to me. I know COVID kind of just exacerbated the situation, but it seems like it's just growing more and more each day. So again, I applaud you guys for your efforts and your hard work. How can people help? What can we do to help you guys out right now?
Yeah, so the starting place is to go to the website hopevibes.org. There's volunteer links there, and we are, from volunteering on a serve day, to obviously becoming a monthly supporter, to even volunteering your time to help us keep and organize the innovation hub. Even behind the scenes, there's some opportunities potentially coming up to be on leadership and things like that. So, I mean, there's the place to start is the website,
Okay.
hopevibes.org.
hopevibes.org. Thank you all so much. And thank you for your patience with me as well as I was pulling together. My hubby informed me that we've been having some issues off and on with the internet, and did not get in here in time to test it. And you've been incredibly patient. I know your time is valuable. I want to say thank you all so much for taking the time to talk with us. Again, Emmanuel and Adrian Threet, Hope Vibes, some visionaries that have really done some incredible work in the community. Again, that website is hopevibes.org. I know you hear it. You need more than just thank yous, as volunteers, donations, all of that helps so that we can all work together to do something about homelessness in our community. Is there anything else you would like to share before I let you go?
Follow us on social media. We're almost on any platform that you would want to follow us on.
Yep.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn,
Yep.
all at Hope Vibes CLT.
And
Yeah.
the shirt's available too.
Oh, yeah. Let's see your shirt again. It's Give Hope Daily.
Give Hope Daily. That's what we're about.
So that's comes out as a shirt, a hoodie, and a sweatshirt, or just
Yep.
all
Yep.
three?
All three.
Okay,
We
I'm
do
going
it
to
all.
invest in one for sure. Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Absolutely. Good people, good folk, good work in the community. What can you say? Hopevibes.org. And even if you just invest in one of the shirts, give hope daily, because again, it's so hurtful to see people who have given up on hope. We're going to just shift just a bit. Of course, we're still talking about canceling COVID. And let's talk about the frontline health workers, the healthcare workers have experienced some of the most traumatic moments of the pandemic. And I want to show you, just kind of check in on what it's like for some of the men and women who work in the Atrium Health critical care units every day. They've got some powerful, powerful testimonies. I hope that it will change the minds of anyone who hasn't gotten the vaccine. Let's check out a couple of these testimonials from some healthcare workers with Atrium Health.
This current surge hit a lot harder. I think patients are sicker, more challenging because they're younger. And the frustrating thing is I think this one was a lot more preventable. We're seeing people that could have been vaccinated and could have been prevented.
What can you do to save that person? What can you do to make a difference? We just hope for the best while we're here and pray that we can save everyone. It's not easy going in with a mindset of, wow, someone might die today.
You shouldn't put a 31-year-old in a body bag. We had a patient who was unvaccinated, about to be intubated, and the last words that he ever spoke was, "Just tell my wife I love her."
We get so used to hearing all the alarms all the time on the monitors and everything. You go home, even in like the quiet of your home, you still hear alarms going off in your head.
I think we're just really defeated. We're tired. I don't think any of us thought that we'd be, here again. We're still, what if we have someone sick out there that needs a bed and we don't have one and we can't make one? Whose family are we going to have to tell? Your loved one's no longer with us. There's nothing else we can do.
And instead of these being 60, 70, 80-year-olds saying goodbye to their adult children, they're saying goodbye to their 13-year-old, their 8-year-old. I don't want to learn about my patients' families because I don't want to know what they're leaving behind.
It's not a joke. It's not a hoax. We're not playing games. We've had patients who've lost their whole family.
I can only hope and pray that this is going to start dropping off and hopefully things will get better.
Get vaccinated and do all the things that you can.
Again, some great and powerful testimonies that really put a face, really paints the picture of what our healthcare workers are dealing with in the critical care unit. And again, we are thankful to Atrium Health for being a supporter and for sharing that information so that we can share with you. I want to talk about another issue is about the 96% of COVID patients in ICU who are unvaccinated. 85% are 18 to 64 years old. That's a pretty broad range. So again, we're still dealing with this pandemic, folks. We're not out. We're heading into Thanksgiving, the colder months, smaller spaces with more people gathering. And we constantly talk about testing is available, wearing your mask and the sanitation. As a matter of fact, some good news that the mask mandate should be lifted real soon. It's been approved here in Mecklenburg County, but that doesn't mean that we drop our guards and we stop doing what we are supposed to do to stay safe. We hope to balance all these numbers eventually. We're going to keep working at it. We certainly appreciate you doing your part. And one big part is, of course, supporting us here at Canceling COVID. My time is up, in and out. And again, I take complete blame because a pretty busy Friday and some internet service down here. If I had checked earlier, perhaps I would have known, but maybe not. But the best part is you've hung in there with us. And certainly our producer, she is constantly patient and hanging in as well. It's time for me to go. Make sure you have a wonderful weekend. It's a great day outside here in the city as well. Please share as you're hopping on. I know it may have seemed like we weren't going to get this show done, but it's always important to get the information out. Thank you to Adrian and Emmanuel Threet of Hope Vibes Incorporated for their support. HopeVibes.org, HopeVibes.org. Please support them. Go online. It's just great seeing the beauty and their expressions of how they're doing something that they love, and that's sharing and supporting others in our community. As always, life's challenges make us better, not bitter. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you to our sponsors, Mecklenburg County Public Health. That's mecnc.gov, mecnc.gov, 980-314-4000. I believe that's 3400. You would think I would know the number by now. Let's stick with mecnc.gov, mecnc.gov. or you can call the number that's scrolling across the screen. And thank you also to none other than Groundwater Solutions and Genesis Project with Dr. Tracia Black. Have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.